Okay, we have to have a very important conversation about free speech. In America, what a lot of people aren't realizing is that free speech is allowed even if you hate what the other person is saying, even if it's AKA hate speech, which is what our Attorney General the other day said she was going to ban. You can't ban it. It's allowed under the First Amendment. And actually, I would argue it's especially allowed under the First Amendment. We need our freedoms in this country not to protect speech that's nice, not to protect speech that's all lovey-dovey, because no one's going after that speech. The speech they want to go after is the speech they don't like, the speech they hate, the speech they think is mean, the speech they think is over the top. And that takes us back to the whole Charlie Kirk story. We've got people now who are basically getting people fired from their jobs simply because they didn't like Charlie Kirk's speech. That's okay. The whole point of this story, guys, is that Charlie Kirk was allowed to say horrible things. This is America. You don't go after him for it. You go after him and criticize him. You use your words, but you don't use guns. You don't use violence. And you don't use political violence in response to speech from Charlie Kirk's critics. That's the importance about freedom of speech. The importance about freedom of speech in America is that even the Nzis are allowed to march in America, which they did famously in 1979 in Skokie, Illinois. You can hate it. You can hate what they say. You can hate what they represent. You can hate them. But you let them speak and you don't resort to violence. That's the lesson from the Charlie Kirk story. Not that he was a great guy who was speaking, but that he was a guy that a lot of people don't like. But in America, he's allowed to speak anyway. And other people are allowed to speak against him.